of gratification, of admiration, and with one accord. The party must begin to bow, not obsequiously, but respectfully and with dignity, and at the end of 15 minutes the Emperor would go in the house, and we could shin along home again. We felt immensely relieved. It seemed, in a manner, easy. There wasn't a man in the party but believed that with a little practice he could stand in a row, especially if there were others along. There wasn't a man but believed he could bow without tripping on his coat-tail and breaking his neck. In a word, we came to believe we were equal to any item in the performance except that complicated smile. The council also said that we ought to draft a little address to the Emperor and present it to one of his aides-de-camp, who would forward it to him at the proper time. Therefore, 5 of us were appointed to prepare the document, and the 50 others went sadly smiling about the ship. During the next 12 hours we had the general appearance, somehow, of being at a funeral, where everybody was sorry the death had occurred, but glad it was over, where everybody was smiling, and yet broken-hearted. The consul's closing statement was that it would be etiquette to invite the Emperor to visit the ship, and that he would respectfully decline as usual. A committee went ashore to wait on His Excellency the Governor-General and learn our fate. At the end of 3 hours of boding suspense they came back and said the Emperor would receive us at noon the next day, would send carriages for us, would hear the address in person. The Grand Duke Michael had sent to invite us to his palace also. Both desired to visit the ship the following day with their families, the weather permitting. Counterfeited smiles never gave place to real ones so suddenly before. Any man could see that there was an intention here to show that Russia's friendship for America was so genuine as to render even her private citizens objects worthy of kindly attentions. At the appointed hour we drove out 3 miles and assembled in the handsome garden in front of the Emperor's palace. In 5 minutes the autocrat came out, and with him the Empress, the Grand Duchess Marie, her daughter, a pretty blue-eyed, fair-haired girl of 14, and a little Grand Duke about 10 years old. With them came a few princes and great dignitaries in handsome but not gaudy uniforms. We took off our hats. I smiled a reckless smile at the finest uniform, but I found it was only the Lord High Admiral, and so I had to smile it all over again. If I had had any sense, I might have known that the imperial family would be the plainest dressed personages on the spot. The consul read the address to the Emperor, and then handed it to me. He said a word or two in reply and passed the document to a court dignitary. This is the address: To His Imperial Majesty, Alexander II, Emperor of Russia. We are a handful of private citizens of America, traveling simply for recreation, and unostentatiously, as becomes our unofficial state, and therefore we have no excuse to tender for presenting ourselves before your Majesty save the desire of offering our grateful acknowledgments to the Lord of a realm, which, through good and through evil report, has been the steadfast friend of the land we love so well. We could not presume to take a step like this, did we not know well that the words we speak here, and the sentiments wherewith they are freighted, are but the reflex of the thoughts and feelings of all our countrymen from the green hills of New England to the shores of the far Pacific. We are few in number, but we utter the voice of a nation. One of the brightest pages that has graced the world's history since written history had its birth was recorded by your Majesty's hand when it loosed the bonds of 20 millions of men, and Americans can but esteem it a privilege to do honor to a ruler who has wrought so great a deed. The lesson that was taught us then we have profited by, and we are free.